Welcome back to Life Plus and our Good Reads series. We've been hearing from a lot of y'all that you are reading the books and enjoying them, and we're so thankful that they are being helpful for y'all, and we hope that you'll continue to keep following us. This week we're continuing with that idea. We've been looking at just the anxious generation and then tech-wise families, just like our parenting our teens today and what that looks like and how it's different. And this week's book continues with that idea. It's a book called Bad Therapy by Abigail Shrier, and it talks about a problem that's coming up today with a lot of kids getting therapy, and the therapy isn't always helpful as it's intended to be. And so Doug, why don't you share a little bit about the book, and then I'll kind of give some pointers at the end.
Sure. So with this one, there's two or three things I would say. This is not a Christian book, but I'm a Christian author, so there's going to be a number of things in here that are not necessarily in line with biblical worldview. Second disclaimer I'll make is she definitely comes at much more of a critical nature of therapy in general and so on, and there's some truth to that, but there's also a balance in that I know Neely will talk about, because obviously therapy and things associated with that can be very helpful. But the reason we recommend it and the reason I think it's a helpful read is because it got me thinking a lot, it got both of us discussing this a lot, and hopefully it will for you as well, really thinking through two or three things. First thing is how often we are in the modern culture of therapy, starting at a very early age, telling students to look inward for answers. And we've spun things to such a way culturally where we've focused so much on caring for our kids that we've made it all about their feelings and what they think. And it ties into all the gentle parenting books and things of that nature. And again, not that those things aren't valid, but they really are not helpful in helping kids at a young age understand truth, and they're definitely not helpful in helping them find answers, because at the end of the day, where some therapy is going today is very much, it's all about you looking inward. The other area that she talks about that has some things that are worth thinking about is just our overdiagnosis of children. And again, not that is bad, because a lot of kids do need medication, they do need different things that help them, but we've gotten to a point culturally where it's become so normalized that everyone walks around and is constantly, I have this, I have that. And again, there's truth to those things, but yet so often we don't take time to really work with our kids and work through some of those things. And then the third reason I think it's a helpful read is it gets into really more of just the way we think about raising our parents. And this goes into more of that free-range parenting and other books from the past, but just we want to so control. It's that snowplow or helicopter illustration. We want to knock out all obstacles. We want to overprotect our kids. We want to do all of those things. And in that, what we're losing is some kids are just losing childhood. They're not outside. They're in front of a screen all the time. They're not just able to play and imagine and do all the things that when we think back 30, 40 years ago were just norm to us. A lot of kids don't do that. And the number one phrase I know I hear all the time from our kids is, I'm bored, and we want to alleviate boredom. Well, here, take this, or use this, or get on this. And the reality is boredom's healthy. Boredom's good, and we need to let kids be bored so that they can be creative and they can be imaginative and so on. And so this book as a whole, again, there are going to be things and themes and certain things that won't line up Christian worldview-wise, and that they're maybe a little more extreme than where we would stand. But the concepts, I think, are really helpful as we think about parenting. Feel free to give some application.
Yeah, so I think a couple of things to remember is we are not saying that counseling is bad, that all counseling is bad. There's definitely people and times and places where counseling is necessary and needed. I would encourage you that if you're going to pursue counseling, that you make sure to get Christian counseling, and I want to clarify that there are a lot of counselors that are Christians, but their education is from a secular background, and that is very different than pursuing a Christian counselor who's actually trained in Christian counseling. And the difference is a Christian counselor is going to use their Bible as their mode to talk about feelings and talk about answers, whereas other counselors, whether they're Christian or not, they tend to do the more of the feelings-based SEL, look inward. And so we know that our answers can only come from God and from His Word. And so that's advice number one I want to give you, is just to make sure that you get Christian counseling from a Christian worldview. And the other thing I want to go back to that diagnoses, I want you to hear us say it is not wrong to have diagnoses. Like, if there are people that need help, need intervention, and so don't think that just because she takes a strong stance on that. That's how we feel. We don't. So obviously pursue the diagnoses you need, the medication you need, the therapy you need, all that kind of stuff. One thing we're passionate about is not letting those define you and not using those as an excuse, but knowing that every person is created in God's image the way that He intended them to be, and to be thankful for that, and to however God created them, to help your child use their gifts for His glory, however that may be, and whatever titles they may have. Use them for His glory, because every child deserves to feel empowered by who they are and how God's created them. So those are just the two things I would say. Again, it is a great read. Always filter everything through God's Word. We always say that. But let us know if we can answer any questions or help you out in any other way. And we look forward to giving you another book next time.